Hello, everyone. Hello, Rose Wellness Warriors, seekers, light workers, people holding space in this day and age. All the people coming alive, all the people awakening. This one's for you. We made it to March. It was a heck of a winter here in Canada, in Toronto, and this is a month of water, of flow, and we're near to spring. We're in the tail end of our winter. So this practice today, this yin practice, is devoted to March and the end of winter and water. So with that said, we're going to actually, funny enough, start in Shavasana. So lying on our back, a little atypical of yin, but that's okay. So I've actually got a blanket and a couple blocks. You don't need any props, but it's nice to have them handy. Stretching arms and legs evenly from the midline and turning the palms up as a gesture of openness, ready to receive. Feel free to let the eyes and lips come together. Come into your space. Come onto your mat. And give yourself permission to dive into your internal landscape. Forgetting about what's past, not worrying about what's to come. Getting present with body, mind, and breath. Feel the sensations of your breath as it flows in and out through the nostrils. Perhaps with each out breath settling in towards the earth, as cold as it might be. Just allow the body be welcomed by the earth. Today's theme for our practice is water. Going with the flow. Not resisting. But just allowing the body to be taken by the current. We'll explore the moment today with sensation, with breath, with thoughts. But whenever we notice that we're being pulled away to the future or the past, simply rein your awareness back to the moment with the breath and go back to sensation. Letting go of resistance. Our first posture tonight's going to be butterfly. For that, we'll need to take a seat. So let's bring the legs together. Just slide your heels towards your buttocks. And before we move to the feet, let's just widen the feet about to the distance of your mat, so wider than the hips. We're just doing a gentle twist, letting the knees drift to the right. And then inhale, windshield wiping to the left. So moving kind of slowly, meticulously, a gentle pacifying movement here. There's no way to do this wrong. Just go with what feels good, with what flows over resistance or forcing. Beautiful. Next time the knees are over to one side, you can roll over right onto that side and come on up to a seat. I'll take my socks off so you can kind of see where my pants end and my feet began, but the soles of the feet are going to live together. They don't have to be jammed. You don't have to jam the heels right into the pelvis. You might want a block to rest your forehead on if you can actually get down that far. You might want to block and build a prop up a little higher. Some people like to have some contact with a prop, but props aren't necessary. So the knees are fanned out to the side, the soles of the feet are together. And you kind of want to prop yourself up onto your sit bones as much as you can in the beginning. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, just lengthen the spine up towards the heavens. Relax the shoulder blades down the ribs. And then you're going to inhale, just hinge at the hip crease and start to dome your spine from the belly button up. Your hands can rest palms up on the floor, on your limbs, anywhere on your feet, whatever you kind of feel is comfortable. And ideally in Yin, we want to find the first point of tension or resistance where you kind of, the stretch meets the body. When you find that first point of resistance where there's some sensation, get comfortable. So make any micro adjustments. And then make a commitment to be still. Yin is about witnessing. It's about letting go of control and letting time and breath and the body kind of letting you know when it's ready to move or shift. So feel free to hold the head up if you want. Some of us might rest it on a block or even start to hang the head if you want a little more sensation. And with each out breath, just allowing gravity, allowing relaxation. And allowing time to have its way. So the only time I would ever move in a yin posture is if I was uncomfortable or I felt pain or tingling. We'll stay here in butterfly for about 2 minutes. And if your edge changes, of course, you can shift and move.
And just being the witness, watching sensations rise up, watching them pass away. Sensations may be positive, may be negative, but treat them as every other sensation, whether it's pleasure, whether it's pain or uncomfortable. No judgment. Just noticing and accepting what is. We'll do 5 more breaths here in butterfly. And on your next exhalation, just slowly pull your bandhas up and in. So hug your organs with your belly. And you can start to lift your head,
Lift your chest, slide your hands back behind your body this time. Leaning back, and we'll do that windshield wiper again, except in this position. Pull your arm bones back a little bit, puff the chest up, and then just let the knees go from side to side. Beautiful. And then take a moment in stick pose just to rebound. Legs are long, but knees can be bent. And we'll prepare for our next pose, which is going to involve kind of mermaiding the legs. So I've got my left shin here, your left shin, my left shin kind of in line with the long edge of the mat, and then the other shin lined up with the short edge of the mat. So we're actually, instead of typically coming forward doing that hip stretch, that outer hip stretch, we're actually going to stretch the right side by opening up the hip crease. So some people might take their palms behind them, fingers back or to the side, whatever you deem most comfortable for your shoulders. And you might stay here. You're going to kind of take that right sit bone and press it forward. So you feel an opening through the hip. Now, if there's no sensation there, then you can drop down onto that left elbow and press the hip bone forward. I kind of like this from here. And I'm just going to hang out. Some of us might be able to come down on both elbows. Again, wherever that Goldilocks sensation is for you. And you can also, if you need to, take this right knee and draw it a little more behind the hip for a little more opening in the hip crease. About 2 minutes here. Breathing space, breathing fluidity. You can visualize water flowing through the veins, through the limbs, the bones, kind of washing over the skin, if you will, cleansing, nourishing. And just going with the flow, riding the waves of sensation.
Do 5 more breaths here. Lovely. On your next inhale, gently making your way up. We're going to add on one more posture on this side of the body. We're going to straighten out that right leg. If you need to have the knee bent, you might want to place a prop underneath it, maybe a rolled up blanket or a bolster or something like that, or you can keep the leg straight. Couple options for the left foot here, the left leg. You can slide the sole of the foot to the inner line of your opposite leg, or what I like to do is actually cross the shin across the right thigh. So this kind of compresses the thigh muscle, which is nice, and it also really extends the back of the knee. And it's pretty much impossible to hyperextend the knee because we're on the floor. The floor is in the way, so we can't really overdo it, which is nice. So facing the leg, the long leg, you're going to take a deep breath in. Maybe let's sweep our arms up tonight. Get as tall as you can, even elevate those shoulders, lift the ribs away from the pelvis. And then gently, slowly, as you exhale, again, easy does it. Palms can come down, they can face up. Again, a lot in yin is open, receptive, feminine energy. So open to receive. That gesture, again, with the palms up is available to you if you feel the call. You can hold your head up or let the weight of the head come forward as much as you see fit. Relax the wrists, relax the elbows if you can. And again, visualizing the fluid water flowing through the body, cleansing and nourishing. Where can you soften just a little more? Lovely. On your next inhale, slowly lift the head.
Lift the chest. Pull yourself up to a seat. Lengthen out both legs to rebound. And when you feel ready, we'll go to the other side. So right shin in line with the long edge, left shin in line with the short edge. Oh, I could just sit here for a posture, that's for sure. So we're going to lean back kind of on a diagonal, either on the hands, pressing that left hip forward. You can slide down onto your right elbow or both elbows. Beautiful. And we'll go 2 minutes here. If you want more sensation, if that's not the kind of Goldilocks, you can always take this left knee and draw it a little more behind you. Two minutes here on this hip opener. So letting go of resistance, of holding, and encouraging flow. Flow of the breath, flow of the body. When we stretch cold like this, it gives the connective tissues a chance to release. But it takes time. So we hold the postures for longer periods. Explore the pose, abandon the way you think it should look, and go by the way it feels. Lovely. On your next inhale, slowly, gently bringing yourself up to a seat and lengthening out that left leg. Straightening up both legs just for a moment. Again, that rebound.
And when you're ready, we can do half shoelace on the other side. So that's when we bend the knee or the sole of the right foot to the opposite thigh, or you can cross the ankle on top, kind of compressing that thigh, pressing the kneecap or the knee straight. And today, inhale, pushing off the sit bones, elongating the spine, reaching the fingers to the heavens. And as you feel the call, hinging forward and doming the back from the navel up. Palms up or down. Let's start to soften and settle. Commit to stillness. And surrender. Surrender to the element of water. With spring around the corner, you can even imagine a thawing. Ice and snow melting. Babbling brooks, rivers. As the winter melts. March is also a time of transition from deep winter hibernation state to waking up and transforming into that growth state. On your next exhale, gently squeeze the bandhas to support the spine as you back bend out of your shoelace, your half shoelace, and extending both legs. Just taking a few moments here for the body to unravel. And we'll prepare for our next pose, which is Sphinx pose. So turning down onto your tummy on your elbows. Letting the pubic bone and the fronts of the hips ground down, the roofs of the feet. Legs can be wider than the hips if you like. Just explore what feels good for you. Instead of letting the shoulder blades hunch, we're going to start by pressing the forearms and elbows down into the floor and gently pulling the elbows towards our body so that our heart is being pulled forward. Now for Sphinx, you can hold the head up or you can eventually maybe let the head go. We've been doing a lot of the releasing the neck. It's up to you. I'm going to hold my head up for this one. So the shoulders and the strength of the arms are really is what holds up the spine. Everything else can kind of hang, if that feels good. But lift the skull off the neck and have strength in the shoulders. But you can really let the spine kind of almost hang like a hammock. If you want, you can even visualize water pouring down the back of the head, down the spine, down the legs, washing away any impurities. It's a new moon today as well, so new beginnings. Letting go of old, setting new intentions. Fresh starts. So using that element of water to cleanse, to wash away whatever it is we don't need. We'll do 5 more breaths in Sphinx. And when you're ready, release, folding your hands, sliding your elbows wide, and coming down into downward facing Shavasana. Letting your forehead rest on the top of your hands. Our next posture is going to be called Sleeping Baby. Let's see what we'll do first. We're going to slide the right knee up alongside the right hip. So the hips are still facing the ground. Now you can turn your head towards the right. Your right arm, your right elbow is going to be bent at 90 degrees. Right palm face down by your face. Right, kind of like a goalpost. And then your left arm is actually going to internally rotate at the shoulder. So you're going to turn your palm up by your hip. So that left shoulder is internally rotated. Now you can stay here. You're in a little bit of a gentle twist. There's some compression happening for the chest, the temple. Some people feel a lot in the inner thigh of the right leg. Wherever you're at is wonderful. If you want a little more sensation here, you're going to lift your head and turn your head the opposite way. So I'm going to leave it up to you. Surrender to water. In Sleeping Baby. And very slowly, delicately, on your next exhale, lift your head, bring your nose down, slide your right knee straight, and refold the hands to rest your forehead on. Downward facing Shavasana. Maybe explore the toes together, the heels apart. And then we'll do the other side. Slide your left knee up by your left hip, out to the side. Turn your gaze to the left. Right, our left arm is in a goalpost kind of position with the palm down, somewhat kind of near your forehead. In line with your forehead, I should say. And then internally rotate that right shoulder, let the palm face up. So that right elbow is bent at about a 90-degree angle as well. Get still when you're ready, no rush. And relax.
As the option, you can lift the head and turn the gaze to the opposite direction. And you don't have to lean on the temple, you can lean on the cheek if the temple's too intense. So again, explore, find your sweet spot where it's Goldilocks, just right. Not too much, not too little. Surrendering to gravity, to breath, to whatever the moment has to offer. And then very slowly, you can lift the head, sliding the nose downwards, sliding the left knee straight, and refolding the palms or the hands. So our second last posture tonight will be legs up the wall, which you can use a prop for underneath your pelvis if you like. Just gently push yourself up and sit your hips back towards your heels for a moment. Just a little shell stretch here. Now, some of you might want to take your mat to the wall itself so you don't slide around. I'm going to leave my mat as is, but I'm going to take a block with me. And I'm going to keep it close by because I'm going to try to scooch my butt as close to the wall as I can. Take my outside arm and thread the needle and just kind of float my legs up towards the sky. It sounds not always as easy as it sounds. So right now my sit bones are literally in contact with the mat or with the wall. That might not be so much so for you. You might have your knees bent and your pelvis a little away from the wall. That's okay. If you do want to elevate the pelvis, I'm going to use a block as my prop. We'll bend the knees, lift the hips, and slide the prop underneath the sacrum. So usually I have to move my bum a little closer again to the wall so that the triangular bone and the block are kind of sitting, are touching each other. So that, again, that sacrum is resting on the block. Or you could have a bolster or a rolled up blanket. Anything where any degree that you're elevating the pelvis higher than the heart is going to give you that real reverse of flow, which is so lovely after a long day or even the beginning of a day. Just sets the body right. This is, in my books, the queen of the restorative postures. You might have your palms resting face up by your hips, or you could explore goalpost arms, cactus arms, some people like to call it. We're going to rest here for about 2 minutes. Reversing all the fluids in the body. Not only helping our circulatory system, but our lymphatic system. Relax.
Now you could feel free and stay here in legs up the wall, which I might actually do tonight, just honoring whatever you feel the call to do, or you can make your way down onto your back in Shavasana for a final 5 minutes. Moving very gently, using as little energy as possible. Feeling free to stay in stillness for a little while longer.